Welcome to the webcast, Applying the Power of Tableau to Sales Analytics. I'm Jeff Burke. I'm our head of sales here at Thorogood. I'm also a BI and analytics consultant of 13 years. So this topic is right in the area of my interests. I'm joined today by Maria and Natalia, both BI and analytics consultants at Thorogood with experience on this topic. For those of you that are new to Thorogood, we are a BI and analytics services company. We help large organizations make sense of their data and information. Our largest service area is delivering solutions like those in sales analytics and a number of other places. We also provide services in the area of strategies, as well as things like ongoing enablement of our staff. In terms of the technologies that we work with, we'll feature Tableau today and its role in sales analytics. We have the credentials that you'd expect of a Tableau partner in this space. We also work with a number of the platforms that are relevant to our customer base. And the advantage here is we can help select technologies as well as integrate them together, as is common with our customers. For today's webcast, we'll start with a little bit about the need for analytics. Then we'll talk a little bit about rolling out a sales analytics strategy, drawing on some techniques that have worked well for our customers. And lastly, we'll take a sample of some of the applications that we've done in this space and share them with the audience today. So about the need for analytics, I imagine each of us on the line today will have our own stories about why sales analytics are important to us. And the purpose of this slide is to say that you're not alone. This survey reached out to a number of people, and the majority of people said that sales analytics and interconnected systems made an impact on the effectiveness of their sales programs. There are also statistics here talking about increases in productivity of our sales team. And all of this leads within the sales domain to increases in our top line, which makes a really valuable case for using sales analytics within our organizations. In terms of some of the drivers for sales analytics, the first one that I have here is market dynamics. Whether we're selling products or services, our markets are constantly changing. I thought there was a high degree of uncertainty many months ago, and I think that's most certainly the case now. But understanding what's happening, the need for adaptations within our markets, and the ability to anticipate what's going to happen is increasingly more important. The next is the proliferation of data in this space. Whether your sales channels are changing from more traditional to more of a digital channel where more information is generally available, or just the availability of information about people, organizations, and even managing our own sales processes in the case of CRM systems. There's just much more data by which we can draw from for the use of analytics. And then lastly, the pace of change is just increasing exponentially. And this is important for each of us within our organizations, but it's also a competitive driver as well. A number of our competitors are going to increasingly be moving fast to take advantage of opportunities, and we all want to keep up with that. What this leads to is a need for speed, flexibility, and intelligence within our sales systems. And I use the word intelligence purposely here to imply both human intelligence and machine intelligence. The information that we can surface should enable our sales teams and sales managers, and also an appropriate use of machine or artificial intelligence can also be a valuable thing for us to use. We'll talk more about that on this webcast. So with that, I'll hand over to Maria to talk about some of the key considerations and techniques that have been helpful to our customers.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for that introduction. It is true that sales analytics has become somewhat of a buzzword lately, and actually with good reason. It fits into organizations as both a technological and cultural change by which salespeople become actually more empowered to make more informed decisions and move away from passive and limited data consumption. However, to capitalize on those results and engage in the discovery journey that sales analytics presents teams with, we first need to understand the three pillars that sustain this rationale. So data discovery is the means by which sales analytics brings value to a company. Yet, in order to effect predictive decision-making, it is key to start by drafting up what questions we would want to have answers to. And the answers that sales analytics aims at are actually value-adding and are dug out by jumping from question to question and assessing the current and past status of our sales processes just to reach the most important question that sales analytics aims to answer, which is, what is the best next action that I need to take to drive sales? But another key pillar of of sales analytics is actually data. So data access, data quality, data volume, data management. For long, sales logic was limited in its access to information, almost forcing salespeople to react based on instinct rather than facts. But as Jeff said, with market data being made wide available and the penetration of CRM or customer relationship management systems being made available, organizations have gradually become more aware of their sales processes and exposed to the reality that entails. And with this, sales analytics harnesses the value of the data stored in this system and connects this to other that sits within companies such as HR, finance, or marketing, or not to sustain and maintain sales cycles, lively and wealthy, and everything around them changes. And indeed, this is achieved by creating a whole system architecture capable of scaling up or down as the environment gets transformed. So advances in technology such as the flexibility of the cloud and some other data platforms and data visualization tools, companies are able to roll these systems quickly and effectively to serve the needs to build a solid data platform on the principle of understanding the synergies that take place within a business. Then this leads us to the last pillar, sustaining sales analytics, which itself is included in the name. So analytics in combination with data exploration tools such as Tableau help to drive sales more efficiently and successfully by putting data at the center of every conversation. So being aware of the range of analytics techniques available to companies to squeeze the value of their data and suit them to the appropriate use cases is what is key to bring deep insight into performance improvement opportunities and guide salespeople into becoming trusted advisors. However, rolling out a sales analytics strategy may not be a straightforward process. So it requires time and resources investment into first acquiring the right data, the right systems, and getting the people skilled up to build and embed these new capabilities into an organization. And once this is all done, many even wonder whether their investment has been worthy. And they dedicate little time to questioning data as it does not bring any direct revenue or analysis get quickly updated. So looking at the three pillars, it may be the case that the right questions have not been asked, data sources are not correctly selected and blended, or the pool of analytical techniques is somewhat narrow, and all in all, leaving any investment in late-stage technology and analytics deprived of any value generation. So truly asking the right questions is a must. Sometimes it is the case that architectures are built without being too clear on what the purpose of sales analytics is. Other times, few questions are asked or are wrongly formulated, leaving companies drifting in kind of the limbo or where they are and where they want to go. So setting the right foundations, we first should focus on general open questions that would kick off that cascade of queries from which to get meaningful and actionable insights. And these questions would point us towards the data that we need to analyze in order to get to the how and why behind those immediate answers. And these questions, I have some examples now on the screen. They can be along the lines of, are we spending our time and energy wisely, or are we wasting resources? Where is our pipeline getting stuck? Like, why are opportunities not being progressed any further? And also, very important, like, did we exceed the benchmark or not, and why? So, for example, take the first question here. If we're not spending time and energy wisely, what are we doing instead? So I would be interested in knowing how many our sales teams are dedicating to sales, how many opportunities are created each week, how many turn out to be successful, whether marketing activities have a role to play in creating those opportunities and making them successful. So knowing a bit more about how these questions relate to each other and engaging in further interrogations starts to uncover the need to have a unified data platform on top of which we can perform various analysis to aim at knowing actually what the next action that I need to take is. So on to the second pillar. One of the key considerations is data complementation. So limiting data exploration to the environment of a CRM system is kind of risky and actually results in a reduction of the power of the analysis performed. One, because CRMs mostly source point-in-time data and offer no historical backlog. And two, because we are missing on breaking information silos across business units. And onto the technicalities on how to store, transform, and process that data, sales analytics pushes companies to embrace a data platform with the capability of blending various data sources and provide a single source of truth that is flexible also in scaling up or down according to the data needs of the companies and quickly integrate across different platforms. And also ETL, or extract, transform, load processes, need to be simple enough to allow for this data integration to take place. This is key to understand because failing to choose a platform that with these attributes will otherwise result in a static and repetitive analysis, as being quick and reactive in our sales decisions is wholly dependent on the ability of our systems to be quick and reactive in processing and integrating data themselves. And only then can companies take advantage of modern business intelligence capabilities and enhance communication, transparency, and understanding, and provide overall a comprehensive view of all sales activity. And once we know what questions to ask, what data might give the answers to them, we need to assess effectively how we will reach those answers. So a challenge for most is that analysis are reduced to a low BI level data of interrogation, with data not explored to the point of profiting from the analytical capabilities of late-stage technology. And this is really a problem that arises from the misalignment between data sources, business cases, and analytic techniques. So each require a level of analysis depending on the opacity and value-adding potential of our data sources. And the word analytics really responds to systematic computational analysis of data or statistics, and as such, it can be grouped generally into these four categories, ranging from descriptive analytics to prescriptive analytics. So ranging from summarized, prioritized observations all the way to making use of machine learning and AI technologies to get insights into what the next action should be on a given scenario. So these four types of analytics can be spread further into what at Thorogood we call the analytics continuum. So the analytics continuum establishes a spectrum of techniques via which to squeeze information and insights from data, depending on the opacity of the same, the data sources that we are blending together, and the level of value surfaced. So this being said, we can again polarize these techniques to run through from transactional data analysis, table reporting, over to artificial intelligence and machine learning. And in Thorogood, we have helped companies engage in sales analytics strategies by retrieving actionable insights based on the analysis of the questions and the situations that they were facing at each time. So starting with the beginning of the continuum, as an example, we have use cases such as finding the top 5 sales deals that meet the basic need of answering the what's going on question in the company. As well as the analysis complexity, the data requirements fit this use case is low, and it adheres to the data source directly from our CRM systems. But actually engaging in this descriptive analysis is the only way to assess the health of the business and of the sales pipeline, and it's key to point us towards wanting to find out more about why the broad picture looks like this, to then identify what the next best action is. So a bit more advanced of a use case would be to elaborate on a benchmarking analysis, just to know whether the resources have been used elegantly or appropriately, or how many hours should have been allocated to each opportunity versus what was actually allocated. So if companies want to gauge the effectiveness of their sales strategy and how their sales teams are performing, this use case requires a level of data blending and complementation that materializes the purpose of having a unified data layer just to get overall a rounded vision of the sales process as a whole. And moving a bit further down the spectrum, we find some use cases that apply a degree of statistical analysis to get a better grasp of sales processes and the mechanics behind them. So by computing the average sales cycle length, it's just a very straightforward metric really, you can take the time to look at the efforts of sales reps and identify areas of improvement, or it also helps with planning and enables companies to be able to better assess what the future picture might look like and what the next best action is. However, moving now to the middle of the analytics continuum, we find some more advanced analytics use cases, such as computing the lifetime value of a customer. So this is really a reflection of the profit that a customer brings over the entire period of interaction with your brand, and at the same time gets a general overview of the future business perspective. So making use of regression algorithms, clustering or correlation coefficients, it is possible to actually find relationships between the attributes of your customers, the number of projects sold, or how long it took to sell, or how much revenue a customer brought, and how recidivist they've been, and use this metric, among others, to predict your future revenue or make informed decisions on how much you should actually be thinking about spending on acquiring new customers. Also, we have a very common use case that we engage with at Thorogood, which is the prediction of future sales, simply because it brings great relief to companies that want to manage their stock and financials wisely. So by leveraging data points on opportunity values and other data points such as the customer's historic buying behavior or sales performance, we can use this kind of analytical models to save time and resources in planning and engage in a predictive assessment of what the future scenario might look like. And then on to the end of the spectrum of the continuum, we find some use cases such as customer churn prevention. So customer churn is the term that is used to refer to the percentage of customers that actually stopped buying from your company. And understanding why people churn is actually even more revealing and important to understand than evaluating why deals were lost. Because after all, a churn customer is a signal that something went wrong in the sales process. So in supporting advanced analytics, we have machine learning algorithms that are able to go through your data to spot the pattern and characteristics, features in your customers' behavior, communication and ordering of those who stopped buying, and make it easy to determine who is actually most likely to end up in the same way. And we can also tailor personalized cross-sell recommendations, so we can actually bundle our products and make a recommendation to a customer based on their interest in our brand that they've had in the past, or some connections made between the underlying data that goes through. So with made by an algorithm that goes through sales transaction data and generates rules that demonstrate the percentage that, or the likelihood that a customer is actually has to buy these bundles together and increase your revenue in that way. But one key point to take into account is how flexible your tool of choice is in performing these different analytical processes and how well it engages with real-time analysis, collaboration, data blending, and actually Tableau has long been a leader in this space. So for those who don't know about the tool, at a high level, Tableau's product suite can be broken down into Tableau Desktop, Tableau Server, Tableau Online, or Tableau Prep. And as part of the Tableau stack, the tool also offers several add-ons and extensions to each of the offerings that take a user a step further towards customization and ownership of data stories. And here at Thorogood, we have experience in delivering sales analytics strategies to our clients by leveraging the power of Tableau. So based off their philosophy of sales analytics, Tableau aids sales teams to drive engagement and visibility that allow for a maximum action in one same platform. So it does so by empowering the user to focus on the right and strategic areas that will lead the company to close the circle of the full embedded sales cycle. And it takes the conclusions of sales analysis actually out of the sales environment. And it basically helps people transform data into actionable insights and perform ad hoc analysis in just a few clicks. And fast in adhering to the market needs and in prescribing advances in technology, in 2020 we have seen Tableau continue investing heavily on making analytics more accessible to the user to tell more compelling stories and save time while building them. So Tableau is quick in retrieving insights ranging from descriptive analysis and visualizations onto more advanced permutations. So it encompasses the whole of the analytics continuum. But it also allows you to complement your analytics experience by connecting to tools like Databricks or AWS that run complex machine learning models whose conclusions go one step further into the journey of uncovering the predictive and prescriptive value of your data and leading the way through change. So also on the data modeling side of things, Tableau has been quick in improving its data connectivity to a range of tools, including Salesforce and Snowflake. And making use of Tableau Prep, users can actually establish a sound data model and flexible extract, transfer, and load process just by dragging and dropping icons into a flow. And the ease of use and flexibility the whole stack brings to a company is to highlight as one of the requirements for a well-performing sales and analytics strategy. So I'll now hand over to my colleague, Galia, who will actually demonstrate the power of Tableau in retrieving useful sales analysis.
Thanks, Maria, for explaining the sales process in detail and showing how technology and data fit together to empower sales executives to take informed decisions. Before we start off with the demo, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Akalya, and I'm a Senior Business Intelligence and Analytics consultant working from Thorogood, Bangalore. And I've been with Thorogood for about 6 years and have worked on various business functions such as finance, sales, HR, real estate, pharma, across various industries. I also lead the Tableau team in Bangalore and part of the India management team. As part of this demonstration, I'll touch upon some of the use cases that Maria covered by unleashing the power of Tableau to show visibility and enable the sales organization to drive maximum action. So let's get into the Tableau dashboard. Okay, so here we are in Tableau desktop showing the sales summary dashboard. And for any sales organization to come up with sales strategies, they need to understand the pace at which their pipeline is building. So on the left here, we have the build chart for every quarter and how we are progressing on a week-on-week basis. So all the other quarters are shown in gray, and the prior quarter is shown in red, and the current quarter we are in, which is 2020 Q2, is shown in blue. So the data points that we have here shows that for each week, how much have we won, and accumulating that to see where are we when we are at the end of the quarter. So as you can see here, for 2020 Q1, it seems to have had a very slow pace when compared to rest of the other quarters. So let's try and see if we can understand why this could be the case. Here we have a tree map which shows the customers that we have dealt with based on the deal size with them. So all of this data that I show here in the dashboard has been fabricated for the purpose of this demonstration only, and it's not real data. So once we click on the topmost customer state grid, we can see how the relationship we have had with State Grid, and in terms of the pipeline that we have had for various quarters. Something that you can notice here is we have had large deals in every Q2. So 2018 Q2, we have done a large deal, and again in 2019 Q2, we have done a large deal. So based on this information, the market conditions, and also based on some of the other parameters, we have been able to do forecasting and see what would be our likely sales for the next 4 quarters. And is this the same pattern with rest of the customers? Maybe we can look at one more customer and see how our relationship has been with them. And as we can see here, we have started off with small deals, and we have an action to see why we did not do any sales in 2019 Q1. Is it because of market fluctuations, or is it because that there is some room for improvement in our sales processes? And we start off with small deals, and then we see that we have won a big deal. And based on this information, again, we've been able to forecast how much we are likely to do for each of these customers. So now that we have seen a kind of pattern for each of these customers and able to forecast the sales for rest of the quarters, we now can look at the detailed view of how the current quarter is going to be. So this particular line chart shows the build till date for the current quarter. And this seems to have been at a much higher pace. So we need to check if we are doing everything right in order to keep up with this pace, and if we are able to follow 2018 Q4 and meet our targets for the quarter. So now I get into the quarterly sales dashboard. So here you see that there are 5 different metrics on top. So the first one being the QTD sales, that is what have I won till date for the current quarter, which is 1.98 million, and what is there in the pipeline for the quarter is about 3 million. And if I'm able to win all of these, then I should be ending my quarter at 5 million. Every organization has a target and set at a quarterly level or for sales executives, etc. And we have a quarterly target which is for about 4.59 million. So based on that, just looking at these 2 KPIs, we should be comfortably able to hit the target, and let's see if we are able to do that. And what are the opportunities that are there for the quarter that I need to win? So there are 118 opportunities that we see, and here we see where each of those opportunities lie. So one good thing is that for S0, we do not have any of the opportunities, but however, S3, there are very few opportunities here. So most of the work needs to be done now because a lot of opportunities are in S1 and S2. Here in the bottom, I can see the win and the open pipeline day-wise for the current quarter. Something that is a point to note is that we have large deals to close at the end of every month. Is this something that the customer isn't able to confirm till the end of the month, or is it that the sales executives are too busy with other things during the beginning of the month, and hence they have put the date as the end of the month to close it? So let's try and understand who are the sales executives who are responsible for these opportunities in the pipeline. And that's what is shown in the tree map here. So Tom Hedge seems to be owning all of the opportunities, or most of the opportunities. And if we click on Tom Hedge, we can see the various opportunities that are there in the pipeline for the current quarter. And again, you can see when is he expecting to close all of these. So now we need to do a lot of work here. So reach out to Tomich and understand what is the plan and are there any challenges in winning these opportunities. And as Maria pointed out earlier, we can integrate this information with other existing technologies very easily. And that's how we have gotten the quarterly target for a particular sales executive. And we can directly email the sales executive from here, giving a screenshot of what we have in the pipeline and understand the plan from him. So from here, again, we can look at various other sales executives and see what is the likelihood of winning all of those opportunities and if they need any help and enable them to meet the targets there. So now that we have gotten a quarterly picture, we need to delve deep into the current week and the next few weeks so we don't miss our target. So let's get into the weekly sales. So on the top, I have the expected sales for previous week. So this is based on combining the data from the CRM system with other tools and again like storing the snapshot of those information on a week-on-week basis or on a daily basis. So we see that we were expected to do about 1.35 million, and these are some of the top 5 opportunities that was expected to be getting us that 1.35 million. And here we have actually done only 0.84 million, and I can click on that and directly jump to the CRM tool from here to see where these opportunities that I was expected to close currently lies and what do I need to do to get them to a close to winning stage. Here we have the next 4 weeks stage-wise breakdown. And the first one here is for the current week, and we see that there is about 79K which we need to win, which is in stage S3, but quite a lot is still in stage 2, about 128K. And we see on the right the current week opportunities. What are the customers that who are the customers that I need to talk to, and what are the opportunities that each customer provides us with. So on the on the bottom left, I see an interesting chart which tells the win-loss history. And based on the customer, we will be able to identify whether we were able to win all the deals or if there were some deals that we lost. So let's look at how we do that. So on clicking on People's Insurance, I see that I was able to comfortably win most of the deals if it is about 50K. Whereas for something about 500K, there is a 73% chance of winning that. And the win percentage has reduced if it is more than 500K. And here on the right, we have the customers and the opportunity names. The third attribute that we are showing here is the likelihood or the deal dynamism that we have predicted. So based on the historical information and the win-loss history and various other parameters like how long we have worked with this particular customer and what is the stage of this particular opportunity and how long it has been in that stage, we have been able to use classification machine learning algorithms to tell if an opportunity is on track or if it's a bit challenging or if it is at risk. So as the color coding is also based on the deal dynamism, green showing on track opportunities and red showing at risk and amber showing those that are in a challenging situation. So just getting into the first customer again, we see that the opportunity that we have in hand is a greater than 1 million opportunity. And we haven't done like a 1 million opportunity with this customer in the past. So there seems to be an action that is here for us to be able to understand whether we'll win it, what we need to do in order to win this. Similar situation, we could derive similar such insights from other customers as well. Like State Grid, we have about one opportunity which we think is going to be a definite win and is on track, but whereas the other two opportunities are a bit challenging to win. So with this, Maria mentioned about the analytics continuum and how we use that within Thorogood. So as you saw, some of the charts that we have shown here, the weekly build chart seems to be based on basic aggregations. And then we touched upon forecasting, where we were able to forecast whether and how much we would do for a particular customer. And then we went into the in-depth analytics, like using classification algorithm to come up with the likelihood of a particular deal. So that's about the demonstration and the use cases that we have covered. Yeah, so as you saw, with the help of the Tableau dashboard, the entire sales organization is now equipped with shareable, actionable insights that help illuminate like what's working, what's not working, and where the opportunities are, and what needs to be prioritized and acted upon to scale the organization's success. And there is, with the consumer behavior and the markets significantly evolving, the sales operations need to stay ahead of the trends. And that's why sales analytics comes into picture. And we need to be using sales analytics to unveil hidden relationships between the data and drive informed decisions. So here we have listed some of our past webcasts that is related to Tableau and analytics. And if you would like to learn more about the various techniques and the features that we have mentioned as part of today's webcast, and you want to take advantage of the sales analytics, or how Tableau fits in your data architecture and can connect to your sources, or in general, like how we can help you with your business intelligence and analytics solutions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much for your time today.